Security, sec- ladies and gentlemen. Lady, ladies, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to the December 17th, 2024 special call meeting at Memphis-Shelby County Schools. Ms. Clark, please call the roll.
Commissioner McKissick,
Present.
Commissioner Garcia,
Present.
Commissioner Porter,
Present.
Commissioner Murphy,
Present.
Commissioner Love,
Present.
Commissioner McKinney,
Present.
Commissioner Otay,
Present.
Commissioner Williams,
Present.
Board Chair Coleman.
Present.
You have 9 in the affirmative.
Thank you. We do have a quorum. The purpose of tonight's special call meeting is to discuss terminating the contract agreement between Superintendent Marie N. Fagans and Memphis-Shelby County School Board. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. This is a process, people, and I'm asking Ms. Carpenter, I respect you, so please, this is a process, and I'm asking that we show respect one to another. Security, please ask them when they are out of control to sit down. I don't want to put anybody out. Well, we are now on to public comment. In accordance with state statute, the board shall reserve a period for public comment. We're doing 30 minutes.
Yep, that's what the rules say.
During business and special call meetings. Only those members of the public who submit public comment cards to the board chairman prior to the commencement of this meeting shall be permitted to address the board. Public comments shall be taken in the order in which the public comment cards are received. A sign-up sheet for public comment will be available 30 minutes prior to each applicable meeting and will be closed at the start of the meeting. This sign-up is located at the entryway table just past the security checkpoint. Speakers must state their name, organization he or she is representing, if any, and subject of their comment before they are permitted to proceed. Speakers may offer objective comments about school operations and programs that concern them. Speakers are asked to refrain from using names of personnel or names of persons connected with the school system, particularly when lodging a complaint. Speakers will not be permitted to engage in gossip, make defamatory comments, or use abusive or vulgar language. The chairman shall have the authority to terminate the remarks of any individual who is disruptive and does not adhere to board rules. Dr. Schultz will announce the number of speakers and time allocated per speaker. Your time is projected on the screen to your right and directly behind the board. When you hear a bell, your time has expired. Dr. Schultz.
By policy, public comment is limited to 30 minutes. There are 57 people signed up on this list. To put you up here for 12 seconds seems ridiculous. So 1 minute per person, and at 30 minutes in, we'll have to stop.
Chair,
Yeah.
I would like to make a motion that we extend the time for public comments to accommodate giving more people time to share their perspective.
Would you like to go all the way through the 57?
Well, we are talking about whether or not we're going to terminate our superintendent. That may warrant a little bit more than 30 seconds.
1 minute.
1 minute? All right. Thank you for clarifying that.
But would you still like to make the motion? For all of them to be able?
Yes, I would like to make the motion for every speaker who's already signed up to speak and to be allotted 1 minute.
I'll second.
All in, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner McKissick,
Aye.
Commissioner Garcia,
Aye.
Commissioner Porter,
Aye.
Commissioner Murphy,
Aye.
Commissioner Love,
Aye.
Commissioner McKinney,
Aye.
Commissioner Otay,
Aye.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Board Chair Coleman.
Aye.
You have 9 in the affirmative.
That motion passes. All 57 persons that have signed up will have 1 minute to speak. The first 5 people: John Bush, Fred White, Tim Vance, Judy Brown, Sandra Boyd, Latasha Tate. Please announce your name and your address, please.
Test, test. Good evening. My name is John Bush. My address is 2527 Old Dutch Way, Memphis, Tennessee 38133. Good evening, board members and fellow colleagues and members of the community. I'm speaking tonight in my role as president of the Principals Association, representing school leaders who work tirelessly every day to support students, teachers, and families. I recognize that tonight's decision regarding the superintendent's leadership is a significant one. Leadership transitions are always challenging, and stability is critical for the success of our schools and the district. As principals, we are on the front lines, and our focus remains clear to ensure that our schools have the resources, support, and guidance they need to serve our students effectively. However, we have encountered challenges that make this work more difficult than it needs to be. Thank you.
Greetings, board members. My name is Frederick White, Dr. Frederick White, 1497 Rainy Cove, Memphis, Tennessee. I come before you just to say that our superintendent is not perfect. She is new to this position, but every time that as a member of the board principals association, she has talked to us with kids in mind first. I do want, to her credit, applaud her for always operating with our scholars in mind. Some things have not been perfect. Some things have been great. I think that the superintendent is a wonderful person, and I hope that the team that she has assembled, every member of this team that we have worked with has done wonders. Not to mention names, but that front row are some superstars, and they have helped us with great focus. So thank you, Superintendent, for the job that you have done.
How you doing? My name is Tim Vance, and I just want to look at Dr. Fagan in the eyes.
Mr. Vance, can we have your address before you start?
3586 Orchard Road. My name is Tim Vance, and I see her on the news. I see all this stuff going on, and it's messy. And all I just want to say to you is that if you find any kind of way in the budget to teach kids how to write, because my concern is the kids. And all the stuff y'all doing, this on y'all, I'm concerned with these kids. That's my main priority. These kids can't write. They making D's all the time. I'm just finding somewhere in the budget that you gotta have some type of curriculum in the school for these kids to learn how to write. They don't know how to write. I'm talking to the people from Nashville And I see Antonio, Mr. Antonio, he's here from Nashville. All these kids cannot write. And I've got a problem with that, with these parents not teaching these kids how to write. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth grade, they need to know how to write. And I'm just telling you, Dr. Fagan, and I don't know what is going to be here or you're not. I'm telling the board, I don't know if y'all, what's going to happen. But as of starting the following week,
Thank you.
y'all need to find some money.
My name is Judy Jackson Brown, 5672 Tulip Hill Drive. I'm a retired educator of Memphis-Shelby County Schools, and I am here to object to the board members' constant scrutiny of an effective superintendent. The majority of the people in this community, the movers, the shakers, the money makers, and the money people who give out money to us, the city, the teachers, the community, parents, and students are all in support of Dr. Fagan's. We are on her side. We are happy with the person that the school board elected. We're happy with her. You elected her, and we're happy with your choice. We voted for you to represent us, but in wanting to remove her, you are not representing us. I am here to request that school board allow the superintendent to stay hired. I support.
Good afternoon. I am Sandra Boyd, P.O. Box 753793, and I am representing not only myself as a retired teacher, but an active retired teacher with the UEA, our union. Next is now. I'm here to support the visionary, and the visionary is Dr. Marie Ann Fagans. As I look around the room, I immediately spot professionals, non-professionals, educated, uneducated, laypersons, as well as clergy and the media. Basically, many of us are present tonight to support a visionary, a genuine leader, a community connector, a mover and a shaker. From day one of her being hired, she has hit the ground running with the utmost intention of evaluating not only, or elevating not only this district, but all Memphis City Schools students. She has gone far.
Thank you, Ms. Boyd. Ms. Boyd.
Good evening, Tasha Tate, 5275 Lodestone Loop. Tonight's decision reminds me of the time I went shopping to find that perfect outfit. After trying it on, I knew I had to buy it. The cost was not an issue. However, after I got home, guilt consumed me. There was no flaw in the outfit, just the consequence of my purchasing decision. We call that buyer's remorse. Board members, this is not analogous to hirer's remorse. You diligently sought the optimal candidate, the right fit, and found Dr. Marie Fagan. Your choice to rescind and eliminate the ideal candidate causes many of us to conclude that you lack the capacity and competence to make sound judgments for our future. Yes. Now, to Dr. Fagan, fight the good fight of faith. Continue to remain steadfast and unmovable. We stand with you. Thank you for being the perfect fit for such a time as this.
The next 5 speakers: Noah Nordstrom, Sarah Carpenter, LaShanta Rudd, Scotty Davison, and Omar Baratu. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your last name.
All right, my name is Noah Nordstrom, 6220 Forest Grove Drive. I'm a Spanish teacher at MSCS, and I'm represented by Joyce Coleman. And I was hired during a time of chaos last year without a superintendent. We had historic truancy. We had salaries so low that I could barely afford to live. We had a massive teacher shortage, and so many of us wanted to quit every single day. And then came Dr. Fagans, and she immediately began transforming our schools. She ended the teacher shortage at our school. She began cutting waste. She began tackling truancy. And our school just today announced that we improved a letter grade in just one semester of having Dr. Fagans. And so first, we know that this meeting is likely illegal because it was called without the full consent of the board, and it was called behind closed doors, which is a violation of sunshine laws and the Tennessee Open Records Act. Secondly, this is political suicide for you all. First of all, we know that exactly how many signatures we need to get you out of office. McKinney, it's 1,505. Love is 1,898. Otay, it's 2,043. Murphy, it's 855. And Coleman, it is 3,205. And I will be the first to knock.
Thank you, Mr. Nordstrom. Mr. Nordstrom. Thank you. Thank you.
Carpenter, 2130 Curry Avenue, 38108. I just came to serve notice that the state is on the way, and I'm going to support every step of the way if the state come in, because it look like we can't do it down here. I also want to say that 3 weeks ago, a board member that's sitting up there called me and said that they were going to fire Dr. Fagan. I said, well, what y'all going to do about the superintendent? Guess what they said? They said, we're not going to do another search. That's not the Democratic way. We're not going to do another search. A board member called me. I didn't call her, she called me. She called me. A board member called me. A board member called me. Natalie, Otay, Keith, Porter, Michelle, Amber, a board member, Joyce, a board member called me and said this. So it looked like that they said the employees ain't happy. Well, guess what? If I ain't happy, I'm going to leave the job. If I ain't happy, I'm going to leave.
LaShonda, you're next. Sir, it's LaShonda Rudd, and then Scotty Davison and Omar.
My name is LaShonda Rudd. My address is 1200 David Street, and I live in Orange Mound. Today is a disgrace. It's a disgrace to our city, and our children are watching us. This whole thing is disturbing. The fact that we are even here. We hired her to do a job. Now you want to get rid of her? Let me say this to all of y'all. A day is coming when you will have to give an account for this day. You will give an account. Joyce Coleman, you will give an account for this moment. I can assure you that. You all are in it for yourselves. This ain't about our children. Y'all don't give a damn about our kids.
Scotty Davison, representative for SEIU, 1604 Sales Landing Road. Superintendent, I'm here tonight to ask you to look into the nutrition service manager or supervisors and the area managers raises. They was promised they was told they was going to get 6%. They have not received that yet. Some of the managers are working out there, or the supervisors are working out there not getting their stipends and have not been getting their stipends all year. So I would like for you to look into their pay. I know the compensation department is backed up right now. We do want to thank you for our area managers, or the building engineers raises you did get. They have received theirs, but our cafeteria managers and area managers have not received their raises yet. They're 6%. We just wished you would look into that. And I want to thank you, and please look into the pay they're not getting. Thank you.
My name is Omar Baruti. I'm a former school teacher for 5 years, parent of 7 children with the bachelor's and master's to the PhD degree.
Can you
Address
can you
9345 Morning Grove Cove, a product of the city school system of Memphis and Lamont College. Dr. Fagan is one of the best things that Memphis ever had. Because she's not the problem, she's trying to find solutions to the problem. Because the problem starts with the home. That's why right now I have a group called Parenting with a Purpose, because what happens is that the problem starts in the home, and we're not doing anything at the home to make the children ready for the school. We've got to come back to the table and teach our children just the basics. When they come out the womb, the first teacher is the parent. You teach them how to walk. You teach them how to train themselves to eat. The colors, alphabets, you do that at the home. My father couldn't read or write, but he made sure at home I learned everything I needed to learn before I got to the school building. We got to go back to that. And Dr. Fagan, keep your post. We're with you.
Our next 5 speakers: Cheryl Cright, Rachel Spriggs, Latasha Griggs, Charles Lampkin, and Brittany Shelby Sessions.
Good evening. I am Cheryl Piggy Cright. My address is 856 Faxon. Elections have consequences, and this is the result of us electing you to represent us, to do the work that we asked you to do. What has transpired has not been shared with us. All we know is a call meeting was made. As a representative of us, we should have been, good word, because I couldn't find it, notified that actions were taking place. I say, elections have consequences. Yes. And because of the consequences that have occurred, there will be a different election happening next time. I am Cheryl Piggy Cright.
Rachel Spriggs. All the motions aside, as a person who
Ms. Spriggs, will you say your address, please?
All right, start my time back over then. Thank you. Rachel Spriggs, 440 North McNeil. All emotions aside, as a person who fought for superintendent to have a fair process to be here, and also have worked hard to get 4 of the newly elected board members in the seats that they are in, this is a disappointment. We took almost 3 times the time to find her than we are taking to fire her. The superintendent is new. 4 of you have not even officially completed training, and it appears that she has not been given a chance to do the job that she was hired to do. Fagans, despite what the public feel, you are the only one in this room that knows the truth. You the only one in this room that knows whether or not you have been coachable. We don't. But what we all know is we desire to see you succeed. I'm not sure of the accusations that will come out, but
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Spriggs.
frustrated.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Dr. Fagan, I stand with you.
Ms. Griggs, will you say your address, please?
1095 Bama. Dr. Fagan, I stand with you. I'm going to say that first and foremost. Everybody else, I've never seen a group of selfish people in my life. That lady come here to do a job. Everything she done, you all have crucified this lady for everything. Everything. She go right, y'all. Every time she ties shoe, y'all untie. You all are the most selfish people I have ever seen. I'm gonna file a petition. I want every last one of y'all from up there. You all are incompetent to run this board, cause y'all don't think about these kids. Nothing y'all doing is about the kids. Everything is about you all. This is not about the kids. This is about y'all. Because while we right here, right before Christmas, having a meeting about getting rid of the superintendent, make it make sense. Y'all selfish as hell. Woo!
Mr. Charles Lampkin.
Charles Lampkin, 3711 Austin P. Highway. I stand before you this evening, a member of this community. I watch you spend lots and lots of money to find a dignified, capable, competent individual to come in here and run this district. She did exactly what she was hired to do, to come in here and repair the breach, to fix your image out there and put this district together and get it on the right foot and head us in the right direction. And just like Ms. Griggs said, you have done everything possible to sabotage that. I stand with you and I applaud your efforts. But you remember this, every one of you sitting up there, the word says in Luke 12:48, to whom much is given, much is also required. So get ready, because there is a day God's coming for you. Believe that. Believe that. Hello. You stand and you be strong.
Greetings, everyone in the room. Honored to be in the space with you. Brittany Shelby Sessoms, 12 North Idlewild. My ask tonight is that we hold this off. My reason is the money we've spent. I was on the parent collective who was a part of the process for selecting Dr. Fagans, and I personally do not care if it was Dr. Pippi Longstockings from Pluto. It's too soon. There's been too many valuable resources spent by way of time and fiscal resources, and at the end, children and families suffer. My question would be, if this is the resolve, what is next? I truly believe that next is now. I would like to invite you all to consider that whatever missteps have happened, I believe there could be other recourse other than this resolve, and I yield. Thank you.
Kyle Taylor, Latoria Carpenter, Tamika Martin, Mark Williams, Dinesha Fields.
Good evening. My name is Kyle Taylor. I live at 641 East Drive, 38112. I have a first grader at Idlewild Elementary. As parents, our number one priority is our children's safety. When I get robocalls moments after something happens at a school that's not even in my district, before I see it on social media, I know my children are safe and the system is watching out for them. When I get text message alerts and emails letting me know that forms are due or a deadline is approaching, I know that the system that my child is in is running efficiently and cares about their progress. There's only so much we can do as parents and voters about the budget cuts, building closures due to years of neglect, and staffing shortages. I know that we can keep living here, keep paying taxes here, keep trying to vote for better representation that values public education, but I would suspect that most of us would recognize that as an uphill battle. The least we can do as concerned parents working long hours.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor.
This is exactly 3 minutes long. This is 1 minute long. I'm going to finish.
No, sir. Mr. Taylor.
Notoria Carpenter, 1637 Britton, Memphis, Tennessee. I stand before you tonight. I have come to countless board meetings before tonight. Y'all are some, not all of y'all, and I'm going to rephrase what some say. Not all of the board members are disrespectful. Not all of y'all are selfish. Some of y'all text all night, not listening to what we saying, but I tell you, y'all love to let the superintendent know that y'all her boss, but we the voters, your boss. We got children can't even read, but y'all want to sit here and say we gonna fire the superintendent tonight. You gonna tell me you gonna fire the superintendent in the middle of a school year? Y'all had agendas all the time. I done heard from board members way before last night that y'all was gonna get rid of Dr. Fagans. So this ain't new. It might be new to some of the board members, but your board members did this before they were sworn in. But we the people gonna walk with our feet, and we gonna keep on fighting, and y'all, mark my word, we gonna vote.
That's right. Election time, you better ask Green and Calvo.
Tamika Martin, 3380 Brookmead Street. Dear board members, I am speaking to express my strong support for retaining our current superintendent. Their leadership has been instrumental in driving positive changes within our district. We have seen significant improvements in student performance, staff morale, and community engagement under their tenure. It would be a disservice to our students and community to lose such a dedicated and effective leader. I urge you to reconsider any decision to terminate their contract and instead focus on building upon the success we have achieved together. I stand with Dr. Fagan.
Oh, where you going? Hello, my name is Mark Williams, Hollis F. Price, 9th grader, legacy builder for MSCS. Thank you, Memory Fagans. My address is 918 East Dempster Avenue, Memphis, Tennessee, 38106. Thank you for restarting the clock, whoever did that. I want to go ahead and first start off that I am deeply ashamed for the school district and school board for doing this. You have not given this lady, you have only given this lady 8 to 10 months to prove her worth. I am absolutely and deeply ashamed. I'm a student here in this district. How dare you do this? You went ahead and did a one-on-one, in-person interview with the superintendent. If that's an evaluation, that's not an evaluation. That's just personal coming in. I thought we supposed to be businessmen here. I am deeply ashamed. It's like you hired this lady just to be a scapegoat. I am tired and sick of this, man. I deserve to have a good education. We have people, our MSCS buildings are over 60 years old on average. We have people that are struggling in the classrooms. How dare you go ahead and fire this lady? She only has 8 months. 8! How dare you do this? Thank you for your time.
I can't follow that. But I'm Donisha Fields, 16. I'll wait on y'all. All right. Donisha Fields, 1637 Britton Street. I had high hopes for this board. We got a new superintendent, and we had new board members. I just knew the projection of all Shelby County students was going to change for the best, for the greater. I thought that this was the change that Sam Cooke sang about, and this was the dream that Dr. King dreamed about. But I stand here today disappointed, because that dream has turned into a nightmare. We had someone dedicated. She gave y'all her plan of what she was going to do before she got here. I know some of y'all wasn't here, but some of y'all sat in this audience beside this line with us while we participated in that process. And I was one of the ones that stood here and said we needed somebody bold and unafraid to make changes. And that's what has happened. And it sounds like to me that, and even the previous interim superintendent said that she inherited a mess. She inherited a mess, so her predecessor inherited.
Your time is up. Ms. Fields. Thank you. Thank you. Natria Wren, Latoya Robinson, Edith A. Moore, George Summers, Bertha Williams. Wren, Robinson, Moore, Summers, Williams.
Did you call me first?
Wren, Robinson, Moore, Summers, and Bertha Williams.
Good evening. My name, my titles, Reverend Dr. Edith Ann Moore.
Dr. Moore, is
Former.
what, Miss Dr. Moore?
Yes.
It's Wren is first.
Well,
Is
I
Wren?
asked that question. Thank you.
Wren,
It's
Robinson.
Not Wren. It's not Wren, it's Natria Wren. Thank you. My name is Natria Wren. My address is 9695 Manor View Cove. I stand here today in support of Dr. Fagans. The board has not provided any clear justification, documentation, or explanation as to why you guys want to fire her. Y'all haven't given us anything. Y'all keeping us in the dark. 3-4 months ago, we elected a counselor on that board. And now I'm telling you now, that's going to be the first one we coming for. I, myself, along with parents, business leaders, community leaders, we're going to replace each and every one of y'all who vote this woman out of here. I want you to understand we're going to get some good candidates, some exceptional and some people that's educated. We're going to get some people who can do this job that y'all obviously cannot do without having egos and selfishness involved. We're going to canvass, we're going to educate voters, and we're going to get y'all right on up out of here. So I want y'all to understand what you're doing. Understand it, because we coming for you. Understand it. And make sure you understand that we all stand for Dr. Fagans, and if you don't do your job, the job we elected you to do, we're going to come for you next.
Ms. Robinson.
Latoya Robinson, 2850 Curtis Street. Dr. Fagan's efforts are not the problem. The problem is a system that has failed our children for far too long. Removing her doesn't save the students or their education. It only proves that this board is more interested in the power struggles than progress. Parents, we are the ones with the power to demand better. We hold the currency, which are our babies. We get up and we bring them to school so you all can say, hey, they're here, pay us. So we hold the currency. And I say, we should control the currency. If you all vote a woman who I don't know, she gotta be 12 of her. Got to be. Because this woman is here, there, and everywhere, and she's doing what she got to do. If you vote her out, then we need to do what we can do as parents, because our children are not gonna survive anyway. Keep them at home. Boycott the school system. That's what I say.
Dr. Moore.
As I was saying, I am Reverend Dr. Edith Ann Moore, former teacher, former county commissioner.
Dr. Moore, will you give your address, please?
I was getting to that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. My address is 2570 James Road, Memphis, Tennessee, 38127. I say that to say that I am not hot nor cold on this issue, but I have been following it. And with all the things that I have done and have told you I have done, I would not, under the circumstances, have put in to have this job that Dr. Fagan has. Because of the situation that she found when she got here. The school board, the school system was dysfunctional. And Commissioner Williams, you know me, I was a teacher. I was always coming down asking you to advocate for teachers. I was so proud when you finally got on the board because you know the problems of the teachers. You know they couldn't read and write. You know we were graduating students that did not have a future. You knew that because I told you. And now we get someone that will have a backbone to stand up.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Moore. Thank you. Mr. Summers. Mr. Summers.
Thank you. My name is George Summers, 567 Weisman Street, Memphis, Tennessee. I have come tonight to hear the questions and answers of the board regarding this matter. I am not abreast of the concrete reasons why, so I've come with an open mind. But what I do want to say is there is a very, very hefty financial burden on the school district to remove the superintendent. We've already gone through a heavy financial burden in the past. I would ask that the school board work with the superintendent and postpone this vote till a later date. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon. My name is Bertha Williams, and I reside at 37 West Biscayne Road and I am here to support our superintendent, and I think that she's doing a marvelous job. I am not easily impressed by people, and the very thing that impressed me was that when she said our students cannot read. I turned around quickly, and I saw this little lady, and I was so impressed. And I said, she's the one for our school system. So when I say this, I would like to say this. I wish our board members would reconsider. Not all of them I know is in favor of dismissing our superintendent. But I would like for you all to think long and hard, because in the short period of time that she has had, I believe that she has made very big progress. And thank you, Dr. Fagan. And I would like to say, bless you, and we have you.
Dr. Janetta. They are going. We are working to open the cafe so more people can come in. You're more than welcome. Thank you. Dr. Janetta Cooper, A. Diddy Clark, Kenny Lee, Dr. Kimberly Morgan, and Ian Rippey. Excuse me if I did not pronounce your last name correctly.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Jonetta Cooper, address 2652 Appleton Crest Drive, Memphis, Tennessee, 38133. It is my belief that Superintendent Fegans should be given a fair opportunity to exhibit her skill set as a new superintendent. Termination is not always the answer. However, further development is necessary when something needs to be fixed, and I am a problem solver. I believe that all personnel for MSCS receives that training. If she needs further training, please provide that for her. Rome was not built in a day. It takes time. So with that being said, let us extend grace and mercy as we ask for our students. And let us stay steadfast and remember we work with heads, hearts, and hands. With all due respect, thank you.
Last name Clark.
How y'all doing? My name is A. Diddy Clark at 2159 Clayton. I have a autistic son that goes to Keystone. Is 23 kids in the classroom with one teacher, and we're not sitting here talking about that, right? We sitting here before Christmas trying to vote this lady out of office, which is 8 women up here, right? One white lady, not racist. That means we can't come together to do nothing. We can't come together to do nothing to save our life. It's a shame for God, for Christmas, that we sitting up here finna vote this lady out. And my son, autistic now, 23 students is in one classroom. Now, if something happened to my son, and I am a struggling father, you see, I work. The police just left out the neighborhood busting somebody. I could have been one of those guys out there. But I make sure my son gets to school and from school, but y'all gonna vote this lady out. All you women up here can't even get along. And y'all showing the community what's really going on, though. It's sad, though. It's really sad, though.
Good afternoon. My name is Kenny Lee. My address is 5152 Vicky Drive. I just want to say this. Dr. Fagan, they smile in your face, but all the time they want to take your place. And I think this is a shame What is happening? You got all of Memphis is watching tonight. And you know, I was given the key to Shelby County, but I think it is a shame that what is going on in this county. It makes no sense at all. Give this lady an opportunity. These kids need help, and she is the help. And we don't fall for something, we'll fall for anything. So all thing I'm gonna say is this. Y'all got a decision to make tonight. Memphis is watching. Memphis is watching. She is the example of what leadership is. So I'm going to say this and I'm done. I'm going to say this. Because I was given the key, I'm asking that you all will reconsider and allow her to do her job. Do her job. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Kimberly Morgan, 5465 Meadow Briar Trail. What is going on tonight is ridiculous. I am embarrassed. I am an educator for 20 years. I tried to get back in the school system for 10 years. What you all are doing is blackballing, because that's what happened to me. Dr. Fagan had to get rid of a rehiring committee that nobody somehow knew about. Every superintendent and board member that I talked to could not help me. I'm a part of the Divine Nine, but I'm not talking about the Divine Nine. But there were people that were a part of the Divine Nine, school board members, ousted Dr. Kimberly Morgan. She got rid of the rehiring committee, and everybody got upset because they're friends of friends of friends. You all need to stop this. This is ridiculous. I am embarrassed as a special education teacher. Thank you.
Ian Ripple, 433 North White Station, Memphis, Tennessee, 38117. I represent the students of Shelby County and the educators within the system. I stand here as a father of a student at White Station Elementary and a husband of a wife, and my wife was displaced because of the restructuring within this district. Our family took financial impact because of this, but yet I still stand here and support the work of this superintendent. She has spent countless hours listening to the students. She has spent hours listening to the educators. You say that the children matter, but your votes and your voices are not saying that. We are here for the children. We are witnessing a leader who has the courage to make tough decisions for our students. Terminating the superintendent would now only halt the momentum that we have spent countless dollars and time finding the right person. Have you read her resume? She is fit for the job.
J.R. Robinson, Christian Smith, Steve Wakefield, Marilyn Livesay, and Michael Pleasance.
Good evening. I'm J.R. Robinson, the co-founder of Just My Memphis. Normally I'm promoting the positive things that are going on in the community. There's not much positive to promote tonight, but we should be celebrating.
Mr. Robinson.
Yes.
Can you give your address? We'll give you your time back.
1074 Faxon Avenue, Memphis, Tennessee, 38105. And as I was saying, we should be celebrating. We've got Commissioner Brittany Thornton here. Last night, the county commission voted to build a new school in Fraser, $33 million to build a new school. We should be celebrating. Instead, we're here doing this. So, what message are we sending to our students? What message are we sending to the communities? What message are we sending to the state? An invitation to come and take over our schools. I urge this board to reconsider this hasty decision. Instead of terminating Dr. Fagans, let us provide her with the time and the resources she needs to succeed. As board members, Your role is to support her, not undermine the leadership of our district. In closing, I want to emphasize the importance of stability and support in our education system.
Christina Smith, 6998 Amberley Village Drive. I'm coming to you as a educator of MSCS. Ms. McKissick is my district leader. Good evening. I'm before you today briefly, not only as an educator, but as a community member and parent. It is truly embarrassing that once again, due to disgruntled board members, the state of our education system is once again disturbed. What examples are we setting as the adults? There is chaos in our leadership, and it's trickling down to our schools. Dr. Fagans has brought various changes. Though she's shaking the table, she's also shaking up our city. Her standards are high, and I'm also one of the teachers on a permit. However, I'm happy that she is making a way for us to get our license, reimbursing us for expensive tests that seem out of our salary. And there's also a petition to keep her. Mr. Williams, I emailed that to you. Thank you.
My name is...
Let us be respectful. Mr. Wakefield, it is your time to speak.
I was trying to wait.
Thank you.
My name is Steve Wakefield, 4462 Stonegate Drive, Memphis, Tennessee. I've been a volunteer in education for over 47 years, and this is the most idiotic thing I've ever seen in my life. I've volunteered in schools from California to D.C., and I've never seen anything like this. What's the metrics that you use to determine that she needs to be fired? Where's the guideline? What was the metrics you used to hire her? We didn't see that either because you used a stupid search committee who had no clue about Memphis. So you want to fire without looking for resources. We wasting more resources to do this idiotic thing instead of putting it into the school system. The average age of a school, black school in the city of Memphis, is older than I am, and I'm 67 years old. Get it together.
My name is Marilyn Livesey. I live at 3601 West Deerwood Avenue, 38111. I'm in District 9. I live within walking distance of Sherwood Elementary and Sherwood Middle School. These are failing schools. The letter grade doesn't reflect the 6.6% success rate of this District 9 school at the middle school, or the 11.3% success rate of this District 9 school. I don't want to live in a neighborhood with a failing school. I was raised better than that. I am a former parent of a downtown elementary child where it was great until it wasn't. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Dr. Fagan has been the first bright light that I've seen in this district since we left approximately 8 years ago. Just wanted to mention to those of you who, for whatever reason, think that dimming Dr. Fagan's light will make yours brighter, it won't.
Mr. Pleasance.
Hi, Mike Pleasance, 767 Hawthorne Street. I'm a teacher over at Manassas High School, and I'm chair of the UEA's Political Action Committee, where I've had the pleasure of meeting most of y'all. I came back to teaching shortly after the pandemic ended, and the kids were pretty intense. They didn't come to class a lot, they had bad behaviors, and I knew there had to be some changes. There were changes. They weren't good. There was new defaults in Power School where the attendance defaulted to present instead of absent, and you just don't get in trouble if you don't do anything about it. You had new directives, small directives about you needed to make sure and mark kids present if you thought they were in the building, even if you hadn't laid eyes on them. And God forbid a kid who doesn't show up and doesn't do their work gets a 0. That is a serious problem. I have seen changes in that since Dr. Fagans became the superintendent, and that has given me hope. That has made me feel like my career means something, that I'm doing something meaningful in my job, and I cannot understand why we would not want that to continue. I see improvement. I want that to keep going.
I do apologize. I can't read the first name, but the last name is Schaefer. I'm sorry. Renee Smith. Henry.
Yeah, that's right. So
hold on 1 second. Let me call the rest of them, okay? And I apologize for your first name. Renee Smith, Henry Sanders, Trinetta Lowry, Catherine Watson.
Hi, my name's Sam Schaefer, and I live at 833 Maury Street. I'm a second-year teacher and a proud union member with UEA here in Memphis, Tennessee. I came here from grading papers and exams of my 160 students at East High School to urge you not to terminate Dr. Fagans' contract. A lot of people my age hesitate to enter this profession because of the instability of its future. In the last few months, I've seen Dr. Fagans make a concerted effort to get teachers into classrooms with proper pay and benefits so our district can do what it's supposed to be doing, teach children. The last time I was here in this building, I heard members of this board dress down Dr. Fagans for supposedly rushing a process, not communicating. But what has happened here? We got less than 24 hours notice of this. You have not consulted with any teachers, parents, anything, and we're already hearing talk about the state coming in and taking over. Mark White today is talking about bringing in people to take over this school board because you are basically messing with the process of democracy here. If we're going to protect democracy in our city and local control, I urge you not to terminate Dr. Fagans.
Good evening. My name is Renee Smith. I live at 3155 Signal, Memphis, Tennessee, 38127. You guys are the most entitled people I've ever seen. So territorial. But what I came to say is, Dr. Fagans, you know I'm going to ride with you till the wheels fall off. You're going to do some things that we all don't agree with. But we trust you with our children. We want you here. I don't know where they got this from, but we with you.
Good afternoon. My name is Henry Sanders. My address is 1615 Herman 38108. I don't want to address the school board because my mama said if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing good at all. But Dr. Fagan, I just want to thank you for everything you've done for our city in the short time that you've been here. Our kids appreciate you, the parents appreciate you, the community appreciate you, and I want you to know that we're going to stand and we're going to fight with you. I put on my black Air Force One because we standing on business today about you. And I want you to know thank you for standing on business about our kids. Thank you.
Trinisha Lowry, 1637 Britain. I taught in the district for 6 years. And when I left the district, I didn't leave because of the kids. I left because of power-hungry people like you who forgot that sometimes you just need a little grace. Give her grace. Keep her, because she's doing a good job. If the former superintendent superintendents was to touch me on the shoulder, I wouldn't know who they were. This is the same lady that I saw walk through the school building that had mold in it. This is the same lady I saw came to my class and asked me, "Do you need anything?" That one human interaction almost kept me, but then I realized I had to go. So thank you.
My name is Catherine Watson. My address is 1637 Britton. As a lifelong Memphian, I have seen the district from many lenses. I've attended as a student and as an educator for 10 plus years. I can tell you with 100% certainty that this is not a decision about her effectiveness, but more so about her not being a part of the clique and unwillingness to allow people to sit in six-figure jobs doing nothing, simply because they have a friend here at the board. This decision is not to benefit the kids, but a decision to continue the sick corruption that has invaded and choked our system like a cancer. Our district has a habit of fighting positive change. Dr. Fagan's is the cure, not the issue. We have unqualified, uneducated people making decisions that will negatively affect our children. This is not high school. This isn't about who we like best. This is about who is best for our youth.
Hello, my name is John Littleton of 2715 Cherry Road. I'm a retired supervisor for Shelby County Schools. I have never been interested in any of these board meetings as long as I had worked here. I've seen all kinds of people that comes here and claim that they was for the kids. I don't see it now. Dr. Fagan, I appreciate you. I love you. I appreciate you coming to our city to try to straighten out this mess. Now, people understand. Look at everybody around. Look, can't you see it? Everybody's in support of her. And I'm for one thing. The power of the people shall prevail and keep Dr. Fagan in office.
Erica Sugarman. State Executive Committee. Edmund Ford Jr. and Adrian Anderson. I'm sorry if I had the wrong last name.
Good evening. I'm Shelby County Commissioner Eric Sherman, as well as Shelby County school teacher for 26 years. I've taught 7,500 students, and I'm highly qualified. I live at 3089 Cotton Plant Road, Memphis, Tennessee, 38119. I have witnessed firsthand Dr. Fagan's unwavering commitment to engaging with all stakeholders, from visiting schools to connecting with teachers, students, and community members. Dr. Fagan has been visible and active across the district. Her hands-on leadership style builds trust and demonstrates a clear commitment to improving outcomes for all of our students and supporting our educators. Frequent changes in leadership create instability for teachers, students, and families. This district needs consistency, not disruption. Removing Dr. Fagan's prematurely undermines progress and sends the wrong message to educators, families, and state leaders. Leadership turnover directly impacts morale, long-term planning, and the ability to achieve meaningful improvements in academic outcomes. And that's what we're all about, outcomes. Dr. Fagan, Shelby County Commissioner, stand with you.
Rosemary Winters, Memphis-Shelby County Teachers Association, and State Executive Committee Woman, District 33. As we stand in a pivotal moment for our community, we must demand transparency, thoughtful deliberation, and a clear plan that prioritizes our children above politics. My question is, why are we terminating Dr. Fagan? I want explanations and why. Our community deserves that. Remember, it would cost $478,000 if we terminate her. It would take money from our students. It would take money from our teachers. Remember, Project 2025 is coming, January, and that means that we will have federal dollars that will be taken away from public schools. Remember, commitment to justice and equality. The children of Memphis are watching, as well as the community, national, state, and local. They deserve nothing less than our full and active leadership. Thank you.
I only got 1 minute. We're going to do it like this. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Edmund Ford Jr., Shelby County Board of Commissioners, 160 North Main, former Memphis-Shelby County Schools teacher. As one gentleman stated, we should have been talking about, and it's not even 24 hours old, that brand new school that's going to be in Fraser. That Memphis-Shelby County Schools is about to get. Be a great Hallmark movie, but now that movie has turned to How the Grinches Have Stolen Christmas, unfortunately. You know, Dr. Fagans, I said this months ago when we were starting to know each other. You had a transition team, and I am on public record stating that the people that were on your transition team that we were supposed to trust, as an undertaker, those members were not transition team members, those were pallbearers. And I said that months ago, and look at where we're at now. And y'all know I don't really like superintendents, so if I like this one, she must be doing the job. Because I've been very vocal on former ones as well as this board. So just know I said it then, I said it now, and thank you for your time.
Adrian Anderson. Anderson. Reverend Stokes.
What number are we on?
Reverend Stokes. Janet Good. Can security see if these people are in the overflow? We do want to hear from them, please. Reverend Stokes, Janet Good, Deanna Ross, Tabitha Dowell, Tom Folks, Kevina Hunt, okay. Are you last name Anderson or Stokes?
Stokes, Gregory Stokes, 72 West Brooks Road. I'm going to be short and to the point. I've kind of been in these kind of settings before. My friend Keith Williams, we had a mutual friend, Sarah Lewis, who served as a commissioner, amen. And I was on her campaign committee, and Sarah won re-election by 140 votes. And I had that many folks in my phone I had called, so I got her in. But we had a campaign theme that said, unbossed and unbought. And that was Sarah Lewis, unbossed, and she stood for the people she represented. She served faithful. And I just would to God, because this process has been so out of order, I wish we had some Sarah Lewis up there on that board tonight. that would be unbossed and that would be unbought. And I think Sarah was looking over the balance of glory, shaking her head tonight. But I've been in these meetings. We went on and on and on. At the end of the meeting, y'all still did what y'all had planned to do. But I just want to. Come on in this comment. Most of you campaign.
Thank you, Reverend Stokes.
Adrienne Anderson, 2785 Mountain Terrace. As a parent, I am holding those who serve our city accountable. Fact, Fagans has gone to great lengths to meet with every corner of this city to share her vision and hear our opinions out in the open with plenty of notice. Facts, this board has met in secret to vote your feelings and not facts, then waited until the last minute to do less than the minimum to notify the public. Now we have 1 minute to defend our children against actions that can set them back 50 years. How long must we wait on this board to learn to protect our children? How long should we wait while our children need help now? I'll tell you how long, not long. Will not wait idly by while they waste away in a system failing without leadership and accountability. Last fact, Tennessee Code Section 49.2.213 grants us the right to remove school board members, and I guarantee that will not take long. Thank you.
Tabitha Dowell. Tabitha Dowell. Tom Folks. Calvina Hunt. Dr. Chantel Hess Taylor.
Chair, is there anyone in the overflow room calling out these names? They may not be able to hear. There's quite a bit of noise out there. All right, thank you.
Are you here to speak, ma'am? Norvell Martin. Grant Wells.
Good evening. Superintendent, we love you. My name is Tabitha Dowell. I'm at 4909 Abbey. I am a former student of Memphis and Shelby County Schools. I currently work for Shelby County Schools as a family engagement specialist for pre-K in the Head Start department, early education department. There is someone in the background keeping all this drama up for the superintendent. She's constantly in the media. The problems that we are having have existed for decades. The superintendent has blindly inherited a mess. She's hyper-focused and a workhorse. We can't keep allowing you all to beat her down every 5 days. You beat her up, you keep her in the media, remove your knees from her throat and let her do her job. Citizens have a right to know who are the game players causing all of this confusion. The players who cause this ghetto hanging need to be removed. Superintendent, we love you. Thank you.
Dina Ross, 5144 Melissa Woods Drive. I'm here representing myself as an educator in the district.
I have been an educator for 32 years. I've served 20 of those years in this district, and I've served under 8 superintendents, including Dr. Fagans. In my tenure, there has been no one that has cared more about our students, teachers, and families than Dr. Fagans. Superintendent Fagans is the most accessible, student-focused superintendent I have worked for. I have reached out to her on several occasions out of concern for my teachers and students, and she has created a safe space for questioning and airing concerns. Every time I reach out, she responds with curiosity, support, and resources. When district administrators come into our buildings now, they are kind and respectful instead of condescending and disrespectful, as they have been in the past. This district has always been a mess. Many superintendents have come in and tried to clean it up. Though the ride has been bumpy, Dr. Fagans is succeeding in cleaning it up. And I want to appeal to the reasonable members of this board, please don't do this.
Good evening. Grant Wells, 2243 Curry Avenue, Hyde Park. The stakeholders for public education in Memphis are the students, the teachers, and also the parents, our community. However, our community is not being considered. As the board, you are elected to represent us. So why are you making decisions for us, but not on our behalf? I urge you to consider how we feel, because ultimately, we will be affected by this. Not you. I ask, what has she done to deserve this? Is it the emails she sends to teachers, routinely thanking, urging, and motivating us to lead into our children with education? Is it her community involvement, her barbershop talks, the relationship with the community partnerships, or is it her direct accessibility to the people? Is it because she wants and expects what's the best of us and from us here in Memphis, encouraging us to be our best? Last thing I say, 80% of our graduation rate come out of high school not able to join the workforce. These children are not prepared.
Thank you.
She's trying. Don't treat her like a maid.
Thank you. Mr. Folks, Mr. Folks. Mr. Folks.
Tom Folks, 2121 Jefferson Avenue, 38107 Memphis, Tennessee. There have been a lot of harsh and emotional words spoken to this board tonight. I stand here in support of Dr. Fagans. However, it's human nature to hear harsh words, especially if you ascribe to the position, to dig in rather than to reconsider. This board still has the opportunity to reconsider. And for our children that desperately need continuity, this is an opportunity for you to do the right thing regardless of how we got here. Thank you, Dr. Fagans, and thank you to the board.
Dr. Chantel Hess Taylor, 9333 Chimney Rock Boulevard, Cordova, Tennessee, 38016. Greetings. As an employee of this school district for over 26 years, this evening I come before you in support of continuing the contract of Dr. Fagan. Dr. Fagan has brought an optimism and in hope to teachers that I have not witnessed in the past. We feel that we have a superintendent who has the interests of the students and teachers in mind. At the start of this school year, she brought teachers an increase in pay and an ever so needed We Care Day.
Only a few weeks ago, she advocated and spoke on behalf of collaborative conferencing. These accomplishments for the teachers are made a reality in less than 8 months. During her onboarding, Dr. Fagan energetically conducted multiple town hall meetings where she went straight to the parents to ask their concerns. Members of the board, I strongly urge you to vote no in terminating her contract. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Owen W. James, 4532 Ross Road, and I'm a math instructor at Overton High School. Dr. Fagans has been on the job now a little over 6 months. The board took 2 years to search and interview various applicants for superintendent. You all selected Dr. Fagans. Now, little over 6 months on the job, she is deemed to not be the best fit for the job. The issue, ladies and gentlemen, is not what that says about Dr. Fagans, but what does that say about the board? The board had all the time in the world to make its selection. Dr. Tony Williams was a great interim superintendent. There was no rush to get rid of her as an interim. Of course, we had Dr. Joris Ray as superintendent. He was a homeboy, no disrespect. But he grew up here, he went to school here, he was teacher, principal, and then superintendent. He knew the city very well.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sir. Thank you, Mr. James.
In how it make.
Sir.
Good evening. My name is Rachel Matthews C., 3764 Waynoka Avenue, 38111. As an educator of nearly 20 years, and more importantly, a mom of a Memphis-Shelby County first grader, I am here to express my concern about this conversation. Change in schools and school systems is hard, it is long, and to achieve change, you make people angry and uncomfortable. If you fire Dr. Fagans now, with, to be clear, zero data about her effectiveness raising student results, you will send a message to anyone who comes after her that you may say you want change, but you are unwilling to abide the discomfort that comes along with managing change. Please reconsider your position.
Good evening. My name is Kelvina Hunt. Today my address is 917S Cooper Street. Today, and as always, I rise on behalf of the 1 in 5 or 20,000 MSCS students with dyslexia and the tens of thousands more with characteristics of dyslexia. I am concerned that funds are being squandered on expenses that do nothing to advance the academic achievement of our children. I am concerned that we spent an awful lot of money in order to get Dr. Fagans here. Since Dr. Ray departed, the school system has done nothing to address and raise awareness about dyslexia and the appropriate remediation of students with characteristics of dyslexia. The board has done nothing. I have been coming before you since 2022, January. you've done nothing. Dr. Fegans has done something. Under her watch, we raised awareness about dyslexia during Dyslexia Awareness Month.
Thank you.
Enough.
Thank
Let me
you.
be very clear. What has
Thank you, Ms. Hunt.
say to you
Thank you,
is
Ms.
to get
Hunt.
your mind on the job. Start to give attention to our children. Let's disrupt the
Ms. Hunt, thank you. Thank you. We have one item to address under request for action this evening. Discussion of terminating the contract agreement between Superintendent Marie N. Fagans and Memphis-Shelby County School Board. Board members, staff, parents, and community members. The purpose of the special call meeting is to discuss the potential termination of Superintendent Superintendent Dr. Marie N. Fagans' contract with the Shelby County Board of Education. If the board decides to terminate Dr. Fagans' contract, an emergency special call meeting will be held 5 minutes after the adjournment of this meeting to appoint an interim superintendent. This step is necessary to ensure continuity in the operations of the school district. Thank you for joining this special call meeting today. I understand the gravity of what I am about to recommend, and in doing so, I will highlight the reasons for the recommendations. Today, I ask my colleagues on the board to support the removal of Dr. Fagans as superintendent of Memphis-Shelby County Schools. After 8 months, Dr. Fagans has not demonstrated the transformational leadership critical to the success of the largest school district in Tennessee. Colleagues, we need a leader who sets a vision for the district, collaborates effectively with this board, communicates transparently, and acts with integrity. We have seen a clear pattern of behavior that undermines these qualities and raises concerns about professional conduct, accountability, and alignment with the best interests of the district. Grant mismanagement. Some clear examples include not being honest with us about a United States Department of Education awarded the district $304,000 for homeless students and families. The state has now informed us that due to missed deadlines and incomplete paperwork under Dr. Fagans' administration, the funds must be returned. Contrary to the information we have received from state officials, she continues to try to convince the board the grant can be saved. Unapproved financial actions. Recently, Dr. Fagans requested and received. Recently, the superintendent requested and received a $45,000 disbursement from school seed. Neither this request nor the grant's approval was brought to the board for review, which is a clear breach of policy. She has deflected the responsibility onto others for this action when it is clear Dr. Fagans made the request. Communications failure regarding her strategic plan. We continue to wait for a comprehensive strategic plan for the district and a full explanation of the district restructuring. Superintendent's failure to provide this plan has caused confusion among parents, staff, and the board. We're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. As a result, we have serious concerns about the direction the Memphis-Shelby County schools are heading. The final example before I ask for the vote to terminate Dr. Fagan's contract is her alleging the employees abused overtime to the tune of $1 million. We asked for evidence to support these allegations, and she has failed to provide this information. Our own research indicates the allegations are baseless. Let me be clear. This is not an easy decision, nor one that I am asking you to take lightly. What I am recommending tonight is not going to be popular with some, but we were not elected to make popular decisions. We were elected to make decisions in the best interest of students and families we serve. At this pivotal moment, we need a transformational leader who will collaborate effectively with the board and respect governance protocols, keeping students at the center of every decision. It has been alluded that the board has violated the Sunshine Law in discussing the termination of Dr. Fagan's contract. There has been no deliberation before this meeting. As the board chair, I've listened to the board's questions and the lack of responses from Dr. Fagan's and knew it was time for me to bring this resolution before the board for consideration. I have contacted elected officials at every level of government and longtime partners of the district, and they are in support of the action I'm recommending. At this time, I am recommending today that the board terminate Dr. Fagan's contract based on professional misconduct. I invite my colleagues to move my recommendation and second it to put this item on the floor for discussion and a vote. Thank you for your thoughtful consideration for my recommendation as we work together to ensure students in Memphis-Shelby County Schools receive a quality education in the best possible learning environment. I will entertain the board members. Board members first.
We promise we will recall you.
The resolution reads, whereas the Shelby County Board of Education Board appointed Dr. Marie N. Fagans as superintendent excuse me, for the Memphis-Shelby County Schools District effective April 1st, 2024, whereas the board entered into a contract for employment with Dr. Fagans on or about March 26, 2024, whereas the board has become aware of professional misconduct by Dr. Fagans that violated the terms of the contract. Such professional misconduct includes but is not limited to the following. Dr. Fagans misled the board and the public when she stated during a board work session that the district had paid employees $1 million in overtime wages for time not worked. Dr. Fagans never presented any evidence suggesting that her statement was true, and she did not correct or clarify her statement to the public. Dr. Fagans accepted a donation of more than $45,000 without board approval. At a board work session, Dr. Fagans misrepresented her knowledge of and involvement in depositing an unapproved donation check in violation of board policy. Dr. Fagans was dishonest with the board and the public when she stated that certain federal grant funds were still available to the district despite Dr. Fagans failing to obligate the funds prior to the required deadline. Whereas the board has also become aware of certain patterns of behavior by Dr. Fagans that are not conducive to the effective operation of the district in the best interests of students, including but not limited to Dr. Fagans' refusal to communicate and or cooperate with valued district partners, and her failure to promptly report significant matters pertinent to the board's responsibility to oversee the operation of the district. Whereas the board believes that Dr. Fagans has engaged in conduct detrimental to the district and the families it serves. Whereas the board believes that Dr. Fagans' conduct, including but not limited to her dishonesty and lack of candor with the board, constitutes professional misconduct and a breach of her contract. Whereas the board desires to terminate Dr. Fagan's appointment and contract pursuant to sections 14.c and 14.e of the contract. Be it therefore resolved that the contract shall be terminated effective immediately. Be it further resolved that Dr. Fagan's appointment as the superintendent of the district and her employment with the board shall be terminated effective immediately. December 17, 2024, Joyce Doris Coleman, Board Chair. Can I get a motion and a second?
Motion. Second.
What is wrong with you people? Everyone here supports her.
We'll have a discussion. It's been moved and second. Now the floor is open for board members. We're going to start with Board Member McKissick, then Board Member Hewitt Garcia. You have to just talk loud, please.
Thank you, Chair. I'm going to speak to the public because if I may ask for a moment, please, because though I'm speaking to my colleagues, I want to face the public because I want you to be very clear on what I'm saying. Just first off, I do not agree with this resolution at all. I want to be very measured to make sure I'm saying exactly what I want to say. Transparency, that's a word that is used so much among members of the board here, members of the community, transparency. And I have to be transparent when saying that I only was notified 3 minutes before this was placed into the public yesterday. And I only received this resolution just before this board meeting started. And I'm not sure if it's even been placed on Board Talks. I hope it has for the public. And so for transparency reasons, there are so many reasons why this vote cannot stand tonight. I'd like to further expound that there is precedent. I was board chair when the district went through a very tumultuous period, and we had to sever ties with the then superintendent. And the process was extraordinarily deliberate. This has got to be about real information that is investigated or evaluated by an independent third party. Bare minimum, bare minimum. But as I look at what has been put forth regarding the reasoning to terminate employment contract with the superintendent, I do not believe this meets and warrants measures up to reason for termination. What I do know is that this is a new body. This board is a new body. Anytime you have at least one new board member, it's a new body. I've had the honor of serving on this board for 6 years since 2018, have attended countless trainings, both at the state level, at the national level. And to my new board member colleagues who have been serving since September, who have not had their state mandated training yet, which happens in January. We need to make sure that we give ourselves time just to even gel as a board. This new superintendent, we say 8 months. The school year just started in August. That other gravy period, that was done on purpose. I know that you weren't here. Most of you were not here, but she was brought on early so that she could transition as the school year wound down and to have the summer. So it's disingenuous just to focus on the 8 months. For also, it's just 8 months. So I'd like to, is there another time for me to come back around, Dr. Schultz? All right, I'd like a warning the next time when I do have a chance, when I have time of, thank you so much, kindly.
Commissioner Hewitt Garcia.
Thank you. My instinct, and I'm deciding whether I want to say this out loud, but I'm going to, is I feel embarrassed. It is my belief that the allegations outlined in this resolution do not rise to just cause, and I will not support the termination of Dr. Fagans. To go further, I've managed 150 people in my career. A strong management relationship is giving constant feedback, checking in, having a culture of continuous improvement. At best, this should be a professional development conversation. And to go straight to a conversation around termination, like my colleague McKissick, I found out when you all found out that we have a public meeting. I was not polled. And the failure of leadership, the failure of leadership tonight is among board members, but this does not have my support, and I will not support the termination of the contract.
Commissioner Porter.
Hey, Board Chair, I have to say as well, I struggle with this decision. And so I'm saying I do not support this resolution to terminate the superintendent's contract. But I also want to say on record that superintendent, you have a great staff, you have a great cabinet, you have great workers, you have great teachers. I'll also say that let them support you. Let them run free. Let them make the decisions that needs to be best for our schools and best for our children. Yes, you are the overseer, and they trust in your guiding light, but let them make decisions as well. I've talked to my principals, I've talked to my teachers, and yes, there's some things that needs to be corrected. But I think there are easy correction and easy fix, and so with just talking to the District 4 people, again, talk to the District 4 principals, just keeping this about students and children. I think that we can get things right. Yes, we are newly elected board members. I wasn't on the selection committee, but I'm also a fair person. Because as I learn, and I know you're learning as well. Right. So I'm not supporting this resolution, but I also want to hold you accountable, and we can get this right and move the district forward.
Commissioner McKissick. Commissioner McKissick.
Thank you. So just to continue, I just want to address one aspect that was mentioned in the resolution regarding the comprehensive strategic plan. That should be made in tandem with the board. I believe we were scheduled to have our board retreat in January. It's been pushed back for a number of reasons. And so we're still gelling. Just to my colleagues, it's okay that we are still getting comfortable with our new superintendent. There's a lot of newness in our district, and that's a good thing. It's good to have new voices, dissension. But I say to my chair and to my vice chair, you often said during a very tough superintendent search, we want to get this right. We want to make sure that we get this right during this period. This is training. This is something maybe we can partner, say, this is who we would recommend for the superintendent to work with, to be that go-between, or to help her grow in this position. These are not things that are insurmountable. They are not. And I know that I will meet weekly with the superintendent. I have a standing meeting every Wednesday at 2:30 p.m. with her, whether it's in person or over the phone. And anytime I need to speak with her for clarification, I speak with her. I am not rubber stamping everything. I go to her with concerns. We can get past this. We have to listen to the community. Not everybody is wrong. And we know there's been some growing pains, there's been some dissension. That's gonna happen as we build this very odd family that we have here. Thank you, Dr. Schultz. So I implore my colleagues, please reconsider this. We do not have to go down this route of looking like a kangaroo court. We can work together. We are all on the same team. We want to see students do better. She is not the enemy. I promise you she is not. Let's work together for the betterment of children. We should be celebrating Fraser High School. I was so excited. As our commissioner said, we should be having a nice Hallmark movie right now instead of a Grinch movie. Now I know what it feels like when you're at that mic and you get cut off. So,
But thank you. I want to say thank you to each and every one of my colleagues. I know your heart's in the right place. I do know this, that you care about children, each and every one of you. And we're in a growing pains period with a new superintendent, with a new board. Give us some time. Thank you.
Commissioner Williams.
Is there a way to have a motion made? Because I think that we can defer some of this and get a deeper understanding of what we are attempting to do. We must listen to the public. We must listen to the parents, the students, and the teachers, and the superintendent. And I do not believe we have the coherency of this board to really muster all of this energy that we have going on in here tonight. Because it is unclear. It is unclear as to what was actually done and what was not done. So is there a way, and I'm asking the parliamentarian, for us to defer or to put this in abeyance until such time as we get the information that we need?
Let me give you a couple possibilities. One is to postpone indefinitely.
Mm-hmm.
If a majority of you vote to postpone indefinitely, what is before the board simply disappears, and we adjourn.
But do we have the opportunity to revisit, to make it right, though?
Absolutely.
So then I will so move that we will do that exactly as what you have said, and that would be to
the motion is to postpone
indefinitely this effort until such time as we have come to a reasonable conclusion.
Second, but
well, it's going to be postponed.
The silence is deafening, and I think I need to hear from colleagues who have a different opinion here, but I support that motion.
Commissioner Porter.
Madam Chair, a decision like this, how much would it actually cost us to make a decision like this?
I refer that to General Counsel.
Thank you, Board Member Porter. Under the terms of the superintendent's contract, the maximum potential exposure here for termination without cause would be 18 months of her salary. At her current pay rate of $325,000, that'd be $487,500. And then depending on if there's any litigation, potentially attorney's fees, but that'd be the maximum exposure under the terms of her contract. $18 months of her pay at her current rate of 300. Yes, that's correct.
There seems to be confusion about postpone. Postpone comes in two flavors. To postpone indefinitely just sends it away. To postpone to a time certain, which is the one you're more used to, brings it back at a specific time. What's before you right now is to postpone indefinitely, which simply removes it from before the body.
Chair, I move to call the vote to postpone indefinitely.
Commissioner Murphy.
I object.
Yeah, now it has to be done as a motion. The motion is to close debate and vote immediately. On the pending question, that will require a 2/3 vote of those present and voting. It is not debatable. So you're voting right now on whether to close debate and vote immediately on the motion to postpone indefinitely. No. This vote is not on postpone indefinitely. Okay. This vote is on closing debate.
But I still have lights on.
Again, this vote is simply to close debate on the motion to postpone indefinitely. Then you will vote on the motion to postpone indefinitely, or you will have more debate on it. Your choice. If you vote aye, it means you're voting to close debate and vote on the motion to postpone indefinitely right now. If you vote no, then you want to hear more from your colleagues. You want to hear more debate.
Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner McKissick,
Pass.
Commissioner Garcia,
No.
Commissioner Porter,
No.
Commissioner Murphy,
No.
Commissioner Love,
No.
Commissioner McKinney,
No.
Commissioner Otay,
No.
Commissioner Williams,
Aye.
Commissioner McKissick,
No.
Board Chair Coleman.
No.
You have 8 nays and 1 in the affirmative.
So that motion passes, so we
No,
will,
no, the motion is lost.
the motion is lost.
Now we're back to the motion to postpone indefinitely. If anyone else would like to speak, this is your moment on the wisdom of postponing indefinitely.
Commissioner Murphy.
Madam Chair, Madam Superintendent, I'm going to say I don't want to postpone because we have to deal with this in the end. And I understand the public, I understand my people, but I also understand my district. And my district is having a lot of difficulties, and I've lost teachers. I've lost teachers, and I've also lost principals. So I hear your concern, I do. But I have a special needs child that was injured at a school without advisors. Baby, I'm not. This ain't personal, baby. This ain't personal. Okay, so let me finish what I was saying. Okay, we have no SPED advisors to assist our children with special needs. They're all in classrooms. They're all in classrooms. And therefore, if our children with special needs does not have an advisor, and it is federal, that we could be sued for that. No, we cannot, because it has not been fixed yet. So at the end of the day, I have to make a decision. And the decision may not be what you may want.
Excuse me. We cannot, sir.
I'm not talking about my special needs, baby. I'm talking about a student. Okay. I'm gonna let you get it.
Please.
Go ahead. Do it. Go ahead. Finish up.
Can you all please?
Right. That's why.
Please, let's be considerate one of each other. We're talking about this is for our children. Let's demonstrate how we as adults should act. Board Member Murphy, I'm going to ask that you not debate with the audience. Audience, I ask that you be respectful. That's all I can do. We got to do this together. All things should be done decently and in order. And we are not in order. We are not in order at this time. hear us out, please. That's all I ask. Show respect when you at that mic talking. Nobody up here talk. So please, let's be respectful one of each other. That's all I ask.
I'm going on a Bigfoot show and I'm going to go 100,000 views on you, Miss Murphy. You know this. 100,000 views on going on you. You know that. You in your feelings, baby.
Thank you, sir. Sir. Ms. Murphy, you are back. Ms. Murphy, you are back to speaking.
Thank you, Madam Chair. At the end of the day, we have to make decisions that's not going to be in your favor all the time. I know that. I've made decisions that I wasn't proud of, and these are decisions that we have to make when policies are violated. We have to be honest with ourselves. We have to be honest with the people that we serve. I'm being honest as possible.
Don't talk to me. I ask, please, please. Listen. Thank you, Ms. Carpenter. Thank you. Continue, Ms. Murphy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As I was saying, this is not a personal attack because I was in favor of Dr. Fagans when she first came. Many of you know that. But as a board member, I'm sitting on the other side now. I was on your side before, sitting on that side from the outside looking in. Hold on.
Security. Can y'all please, I'm asking that you listen to what has to be said. We are asking to be respectful. That's all I'm asking. And you talking, Ms. Rudge, you talking over is not being respectful. And you've had your time, Ms. Rudd. You've had your opportunity to speak. So now let's be respectful.
Chair.
Please. Miss. Look, excuse me.
Chair. Excuse me. Members of the audience, may I have your attention? Members of the audience, may I have your attention, please, ma'am? I'm asking a question of the chair. We hear you. We want everyone to stay in this room tonight. We do not need to have security intervention. We don't want that. Chair, I would love to hear, since we have voted for more discussion from our silent partners in the room. I have very clearly stated where I stand and why I stand where I stand. We need to hear more.
I would love for us to hear more, but we cannot go back and forth arguing.
Well, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about my board colleagues who are deathly silent.
I want them to have respect, so when they talk to us, they can be heard.
Well, they just gave me respect and they heard. So they're willing to do that. They're willing to do that.
Thank you. Board member.
Yeah, I'm just waiting. Yeah, because they keep interrupting me. Okay.
Board member Murphy.
As I was saying, we have a job to do, just like you do. And we have to follow rules, regulations, and policies. Policies was broken and contract was broken, and we have to do our jobs. I work this neighborhood just like everybody else. I have a special needs child that I deal with on a regular basis. And that same child does not get the advisors that they need. So with this being said, we have to do a job. Allow us to do our job. And she violated policies and she violated the contract, and that's it. And we have to follow the rules and regulations of our policy. We have to do our jobs. We need to do our jobs.
Commissioner McKinney.
Board member Coleman, Chair Coleman. I'd just like to be clear that the motion we're on right now is to whether we are going to continue debate on motion to postpone. Is that correct? Okay. Postpone indefinitely. Okay. To my fellow board members, I think it is important at this time that we go ahead and let the public know, and also our other board members know where each of us stand as it pertains to this particular resolution that is on the table, the original resolution that was on the table by Chair Coleman. So I would like for us to continue the discussion on the original motion.
Commissioner McKissick.
So I'm all for hearing from my colleagues. I know this is my third time speaking. Is it not? Okay. Oh. So where do we stand, Dr. Schultz, then, on, because, I mean, if we close the discussion on this, and then if we have the vote on the motion that Mr. Williams put forth, where does that stand on the vote on that, and then going back? Because I want to have discussion on everything. This is probably the best thing that could have happened in a really long time to get air out all the grievances, because there's been a lot of stuff bubbling underneath the surface. Yeah. And so I want to hear from my colleagues. I really do. I just do not believe that this is insurmountable, where we go through a process that took us 2 years, that was transparent, where we met with community members. We said we wanted to get it right. No one is perfect. And policies are adjusted all the time in this district. We suspend policies on the fly in meetings. So we can't hide behind that. We need to build a better relationship with the superintendent for those who are not interacting with her, who are not having weekly meetings with her. And to start with, start with the intention of everyone. It's like, that's what I live my life by. I start with the intention of people have good in them and they want to do good. That's where I start with. Is my time up, Dr. Schultz?
It is not.
It's not. So please allow me to continue speaking. So I'm just saying to my colleagues, it doesn't have to end like this. It's a very painful process. We just went through it for those of us who are on the board. Chair, Vice Chair, you all were the ones who were the co-leaders of this search. Honor that. Honor that. Honor all of that work. What was brought forth here, this is not someone who's done something wrong by children. This is someone who's had a clerical error. $45,000 out of a $2 billion budget? That's an oversight. That's not a reason to fire someone. $300,000 for the federal grant. We can look into that. That's our job as board members. We can hold accountability. We can have committee meetings on that. We can get to the bottom of that. That's not some reason to terminate someone a few months into a position. It's not fair.
It is simply not fair to the community. I have fielded so many phone calls. I didn't go to bed till 2 a.m. I was up at 6 a.m. with more text messages, more phone calls from people from every walk of life. It should not be like this. If everyone were in support, and I was there as chair when the community was crying out for us to move on from the superintendent that was in that seat because of things that were put forth. And I appreciated him. I thought he did a great job.
30 seconds.
But we have to listen to the community. It's not just about us and our rules and policies. All of it. You cannot operate in a vacuum. You have to consider all of it. All of it. I'm asking my colleagues, please reconsider. We do not have to have this level of acrimony among our community, hating all of us. And I know I'm not here trying to be liked. I'm here for children. That's it. And I know that all of you all are here for children. Let's not get distracted. This is a distraction. Thank you.
Commissioner McKinney.
Again, I want to be clear that we're doing this in the way that we're supposed to do to make the record. So do we need to vote on something now so we can get to the conversation that my fellow board member McKissick would like to have?
By the way, this is an exciting time for a parliamentarian. We don't get this excited very often. The motion before you is to postpone indefinitely. If you want to actually take a vote on the original main motion, which was the adoption of this resolution, then you need to vote no on postpone indefinitely, and that will bring that before the body. That'll bring the original resolution back before the body, and you can actually vote on that. So you vote no if you want to get to the original resolution. If you vote yes, it goes away as though it were never made.
So Dr. Schultz, Chair, if I may, if you could provide further clarity on, say, if the vote is in the negative of making it go away, can that be brought back again after we hear discussions? Because I understand from my colleagues, they want to discuss the actual resolution. And so was that resolution or motion that Mr. Williams put forth perhaps premature?
The motion to postpone indefinitely does open the main motion up. The main motion is the original one to adopt the resolution. It does open the main motion up. You may talk about the main motion right now, or you can vote on postpone indefinitely, but you only get postpone indefinitely one shot.
Okay. So, but you're saying that colleagues can talk about the resolution that was put forth by the chair.
Yes.
So we can do that at this time.
Postpone indefinitely opens the main motion to debate. You may debate it right now.
Thank you.
No one has signed up, so we... Oh,
Commissioner McKinney.
I want to take this time to, one, speak to the public. Two, speak to my fellow board members. Nobody wants to be here at this point in time ever. I was one of the people who was across on the other side not too long ago. So I understand. I hear you. I feel you.
Are you going to vote with us?
The other thing that I need to make sure you understand is that I'm here now. So I have a different view.
You're corrupted.
I have a different view. We have a different view. So, at the center, at the core, are our students and their best interests. I will say that right now, everybody sitting on this dais, including me, 9 of us at some point in time had the courage to run for our seats. This brings a level of heightened responsibility we have to students, teachers, parents, staff, and the larger community. These seats also give us a bird's eye view in the workings of the district. We see things the general public does not see, and we are responsible for the proper working of the entire district. Again, I hear you. I absolutely hear you. I also hear and see the climate of fear, intimidation that has been cultivated in the staff across all levels of the district during this administration's tenure. One of the things I am going to do to remain professional up here, which is what is expected of all of us and what is expected from you, is that I'm going to continue to say my remarks with the expectation of having the same respect that we've given to the public, and also I will give to my board members. This is truly a democracy. And in a democracy, everybody has an opportunity to speak, including those of us who are here and responsible for this work. This is a huge responsibility. And when you all put us in this position, you trusted that we would take this on and take it seriously. We don't take this lightly. We understand the gravity of the situation. And because we understand the gravity of the situation, that is why we are here in this moment and this time. Listen. Please listen. I'll go.
Commissioner Otay.
Thank you, Chair. I would love to have the opportunity just to have the respect in you here, and I give you my feedback. I pondered. I'm an educator. My kids go to school in the district. I will be the first to admit that I have sat up here and teachers have texted me, and I have told them that I would speak for them, and I have not done it time after time. I've had teachers, there's been nights that I've cried myself to sleep because they're thinking about committing suicide. These are things.
Can you all please be respectful?
All the teachers are for her. We're all here. Listen to us.
Can we pause my time, please?
Come on. Please. Please, please, please. This is.
So, as an educator, as a citizen of the community, as a parent, with all due respect, those that are in my district know how hard I work and how I've lended my own personal resources to help my principals. They can all speak on my behalf. And they see how hard I work and how dedicated I work and how dedicated I am to the community. These are some of the issues that I've been asked, and I've been getting 20 million text messages up here from the teachers that I've been promising that I would let the public know. That they feel as though they don't. Can you pause my time, please?
No, we're not doing.
I texted you. I said don't do it.
Look, I hate to be rude and disrespectful, but yeah, I have to be, but you all are being disrespectful. We cannot continue to go down this road. Now we're gonna, if I do not want to have to clear the room, but this is important. Please, please. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You cannot. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You cannot. Please, please. This is the second and the last time I'm going to ask people to start removing people because my colleagues deserve respect.
So some of the things that I've been, I will wait because again I was quiet. Okay.
Thank you. Commissioner Otay, please continue.
If I stand here quiet, I conform to what you guys are telling us not to conform to. So I have to speak for them because I said I would, respectfully. Their complaints. They don't feel like they have adequate support. This is coming from principals as well for the new teachers. Turnaround times with program renewals. We're getting stuff that's brought to us last minute during the semester, during the time of we're in school. So we're making votes that we should have made at the beginning of the school year, which is affecting our students, AKA the online learning. That should have been done at the beginning of the school year, not in the middle of the school year. The courses that we had to approve, the dual enrollment, that should have been done at the beginning of the school year. These are complaints I'm reading from the constituents, the teachers, the principals who are expecting me to be a voice for them. And I'm nervous to do it, but I'm going to do it because I owe that to them. Unclear on the plan on how to remediate the students at the soup schools. They're unsure of where all the money that we're saving, they don't know where it's going. We have to listen to these principals. Y'all heard the principal, the president of the principal association, guys. Come on, let's just weigh in some of this. Some of us were not speaking about this. This has been going on since August because we are nervous too. And it has been going on before. You are correct. You are correct. But I've been doing my due diligence, and I've been observing, and I've been speaking to the community, and I've been hearing their voices, and I've been going tireless nights to make sure I'm doing my due diligence as an elected official to do what I can in my power. So I'm going to respectfully read this to you because these are the complaints of real people, and they're afraid. And I'm not going to release their names because they asked me not to. Okay? The principals are saying, not in my district, okay, because I'm not going to single them out. Principals everywhere saying they don't get the resources. They don't know the breakdown of where the additional monies are actually going. They said that there's been habitual misrepresentations of what's been going on, and we're sitting back and we're not saying a word. So we are just as guilty. It's not right. It's not right. There's inequitable resources. Not all the schools are getting the support they need. There is issues with, I guess, there being 3 leaders for social studies. That's an actual subject that we get tested on. There's not adequate resources. Lastly, we're going to say they dismantled the 3rd grade commitment team. This has been an issue. This is something that's brought to me. I'm over here on the governance side. These are only things that I know because the community has spoken to me, because I am embedded in my community, and my principals and my teachers will tell you that I do the work. And so I would be remiss to sit up here and let one more meeting go by and I stay quiet, respectfully. Those of you in the audience know how hard I work. You know how adamant I am about my community. My children go to school in the district, and we need to fix it. No, this did not start with Dr. Fagans, but it has not been very easy, I'm going to be honest, working in this sector. We all have to be on one accord. We have to communicate. We have to know what's going on. There are a lot of behind-the-scenes things that are going on, and we don't want to just blurt them out. So I appreciate the respect. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate that. But those of you that know me know my heart, and you know how hard I work. Lastly, I want to say, I'll wait.
Commissioner Thornton.
I'll wait. I'll wait.
Excuse me. I would really, may I have this opportunity? What I would really like to ask and request from a fellow elected official is to imagine we came down to your place of business and did that. That is highly, highly, highly disrespectful. And I am asking one elected official to the other, please, please allow us to say what we need to say. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Excuse me. Security. I'm not asking him to sit down, please. We cannot. The young man spoke. The young man asked us to be respectful so that everyone could hear. There are people in this room that's sitting down listening. You can start removing people out of the room. We'll take the lawsuit. I said he could start removing them. Please.
Chair, are you still recognizing board members? We are continuously talking about that this is for the children. We have children that are in this room, and we're not acting as we should with children in the presence. Sir, I'm going to respectfully ask you to stop screaming.
Is this worth it to y'all? Is this worth it?
Now, if we have to, we will clear the room because we have work to do. Thank you, Ms. Carpenter, for helping calm the audience. But we have work to do. Commissioner Otey, you may finish your comments.
The last thing that I wanted to mention was there is no uniformity when it comes to assessing our students. We've already let two rounds go by. We could know where our students are right now, but they have not been tested. How do we expect to create remediation for our students if they have not been tested? We don't know where they are. That's not fair to our teachers. And guess what the teacher said? Who's gonna get fired? Us. Principals. Who's gonna get fired? Them. It's not fair. They don't have a way to assess the students across the district to see where they are according to Tennessee state standards. These have been complaints since August. And I promise that I will voice this, and I know it's not what you want to hear, but I respectfully had to say it because I've been promising these guys that I was gonna be a voice for them because they're scared. So I'm sorry that's not what you want to hear, but I had to do it because I've been promising them.
Commissioner McKissick.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you. Okay. So I hear my colleagues, and that's why I said a silver lining of this is, here's the thing. When you're on a public board like this, you don't want to have disagreement. And so the things that have been bubbling underneath the surface, things that have not been brought forth, I don't know if you've been meeting one-on-one with Dr. Fagans or not, but the fact is, you know, when I have an issue, I go to her. And so to mitigate some things, but it's hard to have, you know, nastiness in the public or to bring something that is may be perceived as confrontational. So I think this could be the beginning of moving forward. This could be the beginning of everyone, because I think with being new board members, and that's what the, you know, having new board members, new voices, we need that. But also having veteran board members as well that we, you know, lost by those who rolled off by whatever means, of how to navigate that sort of space. But again, I want to go back and just list two things. We want to get this right. And the rush to do all of this tonight, 1 week before Christmas, to upset families and students knowing coming back, everything that we can, that been brought forth, and I haven't heard a whole lot of, you know, mentioned about the actual allegations that's in the resolution, so that's a concern. But, you know, I had one of my principals who came here and spoke from Bellevue, and he said not everything's perfect. He was very transparent and honest. And so my last thing is, it's like we're gonna throw all this in, and we haven't heard from the superintendent. She should, but more importantly, just like we got this just 2 seconds ago, roughly, she should be able to respond to this in writing. It was put forth in writing, and I just don't think that this is a time for us to just pull the chain and say, okay, and just move on. This is not how we should be doing this. This is not what our community wants. Thank you.
I do plan on hearing from the superintendent. I would never be disrespectful and make a vote without hearing from her. So I do plan on hearing directly from the superintendent. Commissioner Murphy, Commissioner Hewitt Garcia, Commissioner Williams, Commissioner McKinney, and Commissioner Otay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to make a statement that one of my teachers just texted me. She was released from her job for speaking out, and she is not having, she cannot feed her kids this Christmas because she was let go from her job, and she has 3 small children. So this is all of the things that we have to deal with as commissioners and try to figure out how we're going to help these teachers that lost their jobs feed their families. We got a hard job just like y'all. We got to do the work just like y'all. But we also got to make the hard decisions, because that's what you elected us to do our jobs. And just because we're not in favor of what some of you want us to do, it's not about you. It's not about me. It's about the children. And they're suffering in the end of this. Everything that we're doing right here, the kids are suffering, not you. Since we've been on this board, we've been too busy putting out other fires that we have not been able to focus on the task at hand, and that's our children. They lose in the end. They losing in the end.
Okay.
And I've always been honest with everybody. I've always been honest with myself, and I've been honest with you. And whatever I'm going to do, I have to make sure it's for the children, and everything I do is for the children. You're not suffering. They are. Are any of y'all gonna help us feed these kids that the parents lost their jobs? This is where I am right now. We have to make sure we do our jobs, and we have to do it effectively. I'm asking if we can just go ahead and do the vote and go to the next one.
No. Commissioner Hewitt Garcia.
Thank you.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Let me do Keith first. Commissioner Williams.
We've heard from everybody but the superintendent. Well, we need to hear from her so we can go on and do what we need to do, because this is getting completely out of control. And we need to have some order and some decorum about this business. We think we know everything, we know what we know, but we haven't heard from her. We haven't heard her side of any of this. And how can we make any kind of intelligent decision without hearing it? All we have are the accusations. We don't have her testimony on anything. So I am asking for that, and I'm asking for us to move this agenda, even if we have to postpone it to another time. But I want to hear from Dr. Fagans.
Commissioner Huey Garcia.
Thank you. This was mentioned by several public comments, but I do want to put into the space the consequences of voting to support the termination tonight. However you land and what your constituencies think of that vote, you will answer to that at the voting booth. We all know that is the consequences of our own decisions, but we should not make any mistake or be under any other assumption that Nashville is watching how we are operating, and they will dilute our board. So we've mentioned democracy tonight, but the way that we have conducted ourselves in the outright, almost incoherent comments related to the termination of an employment contract, when you're highlighting the woes of a large district that is under-resourced and generational challenges, is, I feel like I'm in an alternate universe right now. This is so disrespectful and the wrong venue to air the majority of what has been said about what we don't like about what's going on. I am trying to grasp it. I hear you. Doesn't mean these are not real complaints and things that we need to improve upon. I talk to Dr. Fagans 3-4 times a week with a standing meeting. I have given criticism, specific feedback, a personal memo about all the things that I've heard from my schools, and I've seen a lot of improvements. We're not perfect here, but if we do this tonight, we are saying to the public, we are not willing to do the hard work to manage and to make improvements. And y'all will have to live with that. We should be operating with children at the center of our decisions, and that all roads should be leading to higher achievement so they leave Memphis-Shelby County schools with an education and a life of choice. They get to do whatever they want because they've had an education so excellent that they get to pick. We're not there. This is foolish. Thanks.
Commissioner Otay.
Thank you, Chair. I did want to say this since one of my colleagues mentioned about the communication piece, and I have reached out to work with Dr. Fagans time after time. I want to make sure I am being transparent because I pondered about if I wanted to say that. I've sent emails and asking to collaborate. Can we do things together? I've asked about the strategic plan. We haven't gotten that. I know we're supposed to do it together, but she kept canceling the meetings to be transparent. I just want to give you the information. And as I'm sitting here today, children are the focus of this. This is about the kids. My heart was racing, and I'm sitting here and I'm getting messages from teachers, and the principal that was thinking about committing suicide is texting me and telling me, thank you for speaking up, because no one else has done this. We have to consider the climate and the culture and the well-being of our people and our teachers, because guess what? That's going to trickle down to our children. That's going to trickle down to our children. So I I did my piece, and I did like I said I wanted to do, and I have given an honest effort to ensure that I'm doing my part to communicate, to try to collaborate, to move this district forward. So I understand it's not what you wanted to hear, but I wanted to ensure that I was transparent with this. And I spoke up and I spoke out, and I was a representative for the constituents, the teachers, and the principals in our districts, not just District 5, but districts all throughout Shelby County.
Superintendent.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. So first, thank you for your support. It's unfortunate that we're here for this matter, but thank you for showing up and demonstrating just how important, not just this decision, but the stakes are high. The status of education, but certainly with Memphis-Shelby County schools, could not be any higher than they are right now. I have said time and time again, if I'm ever the barrier, I would leave. No one would have to dismiss me. No one can hold me more accountable and to higher standards than I hold myself. I have yet to see this resolution. I've heard it read to me this evening, but what I have heard is meritless, is baseless. I've been transparent about it and can refute every single thing that has been stated. I want to be very clear that what I shared about overtime, I provided at least 3 years of data to the board that has never been reported before. And as several board members have shared with me, much of my information, my desire to be transparent, has been weaponized against me. I'm not a victim. I came to do a job that I was called to do, that I responded to do, and we've been doing it well with a team that has not stopped running since day one. To be here is not even about me. It's about the people that are sitting out in front of me that have risen, that shared just today that I don't know if I would be the leader that I am today if you did not push us. I don't know that we would look at things the way that we have been if you were not here. Everybody on my team, take me off, there's more than 100 years of experience. The historical knowledge can't be defeated. No one on my team, with the exception of one, knew me outside of this. I didn't go outside of Memphis to take care of Memphis. To talk about a grant that we never received, I was incredibly honest. We missed the deadline. I don't pursue grants, but I did take the onus because everything sits with the superintendent. The grant deadline was September 30th. Funds had to be obligated. Obligated means there's an executed contract or a purchase order. The item was submitted to me for review for the October business meeting. That means we never had a contract. What I did not do is commit the district to more than $300,000 because that could have me here for termination. What I did ask the team is, was there any other way that we could spend the funds in alignment with houselessness or homelessness? They shared yes, and they began to do the research. What we have asked the state to do is allow us to still allocate the funds in a different way that did not require a contract. The state honored that. The team spent hours finding funds and expenditures that we utilized before September 30th to utilize these funds on a reimbursable basis. We never received a grant. The grant was for a reimbursable expense for anything connected to homelessness. As it concerns a check from School Seed, Leadership Development Institute took place in July. The district requested the funds that were solicited on our behalf from School Seed to be given to the district. Donations in policy above $15,000 require the board's approval. The individual who receives it stated it as an oversight. I owned it as superintendent because, again, everything sits with the superintendent. I asked the board on record, may I have the will of the board to have the conversation with the administration, this particular team member, offline because I wanted to respect my team. The board honored that. I had the conversation. I gave grace. We talked about a better way forward and how we don't have these types of oversights again. That individual is in the room, and I still respect the team member. We sent the funds back because it was not worth public scrutiny. The funds sit with School Seed, still available to be utilized for Leadership Development Week as they were originally allotted. Nothing took place out of order. The third claim about overtime. I shared with the board about overtime, and I think I started with this, that the district, in my review with the team, demonstrated excessive payments in overtime. I never accused an employee. I never accused any individual. What I did share is that would require an investigation, and that was not my desire. What I did share is that offered an opportunity to institute and implement better processes and protocols and practices so that we are better fiscally responsible with the funds that are given to us. $5.5 million from July 2023 to June 30th of 2024 were paid out in overtime. As of today, we are nowhere near that. That came from implementing better processes and protocols, and folks like security, transportation, nutrition, and anyone else that still needs overtime. I look at the report every month, they still receive overtime. Overtime has not been declined or denied. It is a simple way to manage the funds that the district is responsible for. I don't know if there are other things in there, but I have met with, spoken with, and been incredibly honest about the dealings of the district, about the operations of the district, about the opportunities for improvement. I meet weekly with every board member with the exception of 2 who have declined the opportunity to meet consistently. I send a weekly board insight that includes updates every Friday, and if we're late, we send it at least by Sunday. We're human. We don't always make it on Fridays. I do phone calls about every crisis that happens in individual districts to include board members about what's happening when we're made aware of it. We send now crisis texts to board members to let them know about what's happening across the district. We send a monthly newsletter. I don't know what else that could have been done for communication. I've asked for feedback, and feedback. To sit here today and have it alluded that suicide is my responsibility and that I created a culture that someone wants to create suicide is the most insulting and disheartening thing I think I've ever heard. I knew what I was getting into. I still wake up every day excited about the work to be done in Memphis and with Memphis. I've demonstrated that. There are lines of governance that everyone is still learning. I've given more to the board than my colleagues across the country. If the board does not see fit for me to continue as superintendent, I consider it an honor and a privilege to have done this time and this work. I appreciate my team for going the distance, for not complaining, for being dedicated to being the thermostat, being organized, energized, and doing great work for kids. I'm not apologetic for wanting more for the 901. I'm not apologetic for wanting more for people who want more. I am apologetic that you have to endure this evening, but I'm free to answer any other questions that the board may have. It appears that you are committed to this decision without having this conversation. I learned about the meeting as well from the media. Wow. I believe that I shared with board members just last week in our one-on-ones that no surprises goes both ways, and I have done my best for you not to be surprised about information. I've been very clear about the matters that have been brought before the public this evening, on record before today, and even this evening. I have absolutely nothing to hide. If there were an internal review or an external one, I'm confident of what would come out of it. I rest assured that I don't miss with finances and romances, because those are the quickest ways to get you out of the seat. I consider my integrity to be above par, and to have it insulted and on the line this evening is something that I'll allow my attorney to take the balance of the way.
Commissioner McKinney? Is that you? Vice Chair Love?
We need to call the vote.
We have pending a main motion to adopt the resolution. The immediately pending question that you're voting on now is to postpone indefinitely, which will simply remove this from before the body, and then we'll be done. Your call. If you want to get back to the main motion, which is the adoption of the resolution, vote no. If you wish to end it immediately, vote yes. This is on the motion to postpone indefinitely. That's what you're voting on right now.
Is it a simple majority or 2/3?
State requires 5 votes in the affirmative to adopt.
We're watching you. Coleman, you represent my house and my schools. Don't do this to us.
Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner McKissick,
I'm voting aye to postpone. I just want to make this very clear to the public on what we're voting on. This is to postpone this vote altogether, so that's what I'm in support of.
Commissioner Garcia,
Aye.
Commissioner Porter,
Aye.
Commissioner Murphy,
No.
Commissioner Love,
No.
Commissioner McKinney,
No.
Commissioner Otay,
No.
Commissioner Williams, Board Chair Coleman.
No.
We have 5 nays and 4 in the affirmative. You have 4 in the affirmative. 4 in the affirmative. You have 4 in the affirmative, and you have 5 negative.
That motion is lost. We're now on the main motion. Commissioner Vice Chair Love?
Before the vote, Chair, I'd like to ask for a hearing wherever that fits.
General Counsel?
You're now on the main motion, which is the adoption of the resolution terminating employment. If you vote yes, you're voting for the termination. If you vote no, you are not voting for the termination.
Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner
Was there no
McKissick?
opportunity to present a response in writing through these accusations?
Yeah, I mean, there's no rule or anything in the contract that, I'm sorry. Yeah, there's no provision in the contract, in her employment contract that allows for that, and there's no right to a hearing other than a Garrity hearing, which this doesn't involve the potential for criminal charges. So unless one of the board members wants to move to allow that, there's no basis for that.
I'd like to move that we honor a request by the superintendent for this
I object.
hearing. I'm making the motion so that it just, for something as serious as this, you know, we've had plenty of meetings that have gone 3.5 hours. So I think this one would warrant, it's up there with, you know, doing what it takes to get it right.
If Is there any more-
Second.
Okay.
It's been moved and seconded already. We already got that. Let me offer you some parliamentary options. If you'd like to do a response in writing, which is, I believe, what she asked for, it could be sent to committee, and a committee could have the hearing. And that's a possibility. So if you want to move it to a committee of the, including the, I would include the entire board, to be honest, so that will go to you, and you can evaluate it. Then that report would come back at one of our regular meetings or a special called meeting to hear that report and take action on it. That's possible.
Thank you for that clarity. For the listening public, the option was to move to for the hearing, possibilities for it to take place in committee. I think that this is just too big to rush through tonight. It's too big. We need to hear more information. Everything just popped up without advance notice. Someone just sent me a text saying, hey, this may have even violated improper notice for a public meeting, not giving 48 hours.
No, it's 24
hours.
Well, the fact remains is that what may be like what you're legal, but also what morally right and decent. And the community was blindsided by this. So I move to have this hearing take place in committee. That's what I'm moving, my motion.
Well, there's another option. There's always options in parliamentary procedure. Option number 2, move it to postpone to the next regularly scheduled business meeting. Then it will come up under unfinished business and general orders. It'll come up as a general order.
I move that it goes to committee. If we have to do that, it goes and give you time to, committee's not until January.
So the motion is to refer this to a committee of the board, an ad hoc committee of the entire board. Is that correct?
Yes.
A second.
Correct,
Everybody okay
Michelle?
with that?
Of the entire board.
The motion is to refer it to a committee of the entire board to report when?
At the committee?
At the next, the committee will report at the next business meeting. Is that correct? Is that okay?
It's fine by me.
Then,
I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
By no later.
Hold on.
The motion is to.
Let me get a clarifying. Let me get a question answered, and then we'll deal with that, okay? Commissioner McKinney?
We're sitting here talking about following policy in the contract. And then we're now talking about shifting and making things up as we go, because that's what this is making things up as we go. So I would suggest that we do what we say we're going to do as we have become this new board, and that we're going to start being transparent about following policy. And so what I would like to suggest is that we continue to have the discussion, but not because there is a valid resolution. There is nothing in the policy or in the contract that allows for the investigation. We're setting a precedent. If that's what we want to do, then let's change the policy and do it.
We are not setting a precedent.
Yeah, we are setting a precedent.
No, we are not.
I'm not going to go back and
no,
forth.
I'm just saying that because having been in a similar situation as the chair a couple years ago.
Y'all can't do that.
I'm just clarifying.
That is my recommendation, that we continue the conversation and we do the work.
It is moved and seconded to refer to a committee of the entire board to report at the January business meeting.
To report the results of the.
So do we?
The report would be whatever it is they want it to be honest.
Do we vote at that time is my question.
It will come back up at that time.
Okay, so what he's saying is it'll go back to committee and we'll vote on that day at that time.
Yeah. What's going to the committee is the motion with the resolution.
What he's saying is.
Tawana, calm down. This will go to the January committee meeting. I don't have the January date right in front of me. I'm trying to explain it to you. I'm sorry. Can you hear me now? Okay.
No. Right. It'd have to be at the business meeting is where the vote happens.
We
vote on the report.
We want to be fair. Let's get that perfectly clear and understood. January committee meeting, we will allow superintendent the time to make her statements. She says she wants to do this in writing to make her statements about the accusations. That's in January. At the January business meeting, we will take a vote. So no vote tonight. I'm getting ready to give you the date if y'all would just be patient just a moment. The January 24th, what's the second Tuesday? That's the committee meeting. January.
They'd like to know when the committee meetings are scheduled in January. 7th, January 7th is committee meetings.
Point of order.
No, it's the 14th. That's the second. Commissioner McKinney, hold on, I got lights on. Commissioner McKinney, Commissioner Hewitt Garcia, Commissioner Murphy, Commissioner McKissick. In that order. McKinney?
This is point of order, so it is to the parliamentarian. I believe we have a motion sitting on the floor, and I'm not sure, help me to understand, I'm not sure that the motion to send to committee is a superseding motion. Is it? Help me to understand.
It is.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
We're down to the main motion, and this is a subsidiary motion to the main motion. The motion before you right now is a secondary motion that it be referred to a committee of the entire board, which will meet on the committee meeting day in January. It's an argument about what day that is. 14th is what I'm hearing now. And that committee meeting, they will prepare a report. You can vote on the report in the committee, but that is presented back to the board at the business meeting in January, at which time that will be heard, and then this motion will probably be back before you again, the motion on the adoption of the terminating resolution. So the question before you right now is, are you going to refer it to that committee? No. Then vote no.
No.
Roll call vote, please.
This is a vote on referring to committee, and you understand what's happening with this. Okay.
Commissioner McKissick,
Yes.
Commissioner Garcia,
Yes.
Commissioner Porter,
Yes.
Commissioner Murphy,
No.
Commissioner Love,
No.
Commissioner McKinney,
No.
Commissioner Otay,
No.
Commissioner Williams,
Yes.
Board Chair Coleman.
Yes.
You have 5 in the affirmative, and you have 4 nays.
I'm not doing it for the community. I'm doing this for my children. Let's get this understood. Thank you. 5 in the affirmative that this will go back to committee in January. 5 in the affirmative, 4 in the negative. Being no further business, this meeting is adjourned.